Hi everyone, my name's Deirdre Cartmill. I'm an award-winning poet, writer and screenwriter based in Belfast, and I'm delighted to be the Monaghan County Libraries Writer in Residence. And at the moment, as we can't all meet in the libraries and in the schools as we normally do, I'm bringing my residency online. So over the next coming months, you'll find me on this page, where I'll be sharing videos on tools and techniques for improving your writing. I'll also be giving an insight into my life as a writer and my writer's room. I'll be answering some of your questions on writing, and a few of you will also get the chance to work with me one-to-one. So keep an eye on this page to find out how to apply for that and who's eligible. I'm also really looking forward to working with the school kids over the summer months. Each week I'll be giving a little writing prompt for school kids in primary school, and every week I'll choose a winner to work one-to-one with me as well. So I can't wait for that, it's going to be such fun. Today I wanted to start with a video on how to face the blank page. And make no mistake, no matter how experienced a writer you are, it's always that fear, that terror of looking at that blank page and going, where am I going to start? What am I going to write about? When is inspiration going to come? So I wanted to start by just debunking a few myths about writing. The first big myth, I think, is that when you're a professional writer, people seem to think you wake up in the morning and you've got a perfectly formed poem or story or indeed novel in your head, and you just sit down and write it from beginning to end. Unfortunately, life isn't that easy. What you get is a bit of an idea here and a bit of a feeling there, and slowly, gradually, over time, you put something together. So the first thing I want to say is that writing is a process. The first thing to do is get some mess down on the page. Any mess, doesn't have to make sense. Just start writing, get something down, and then you've got something to work with. Because it is a feeling your way through this initial inspiration, this initial idea, and somehow finding your way to the other end. And that's what it's like for everybody. So don't worry if you've spent a couple of hours writing and you've thrown most of it away and you've only got 2 lines to show for it. That's pretty normal. So writing is a process, and the first step is just to get something down on the page. The second big myth is about inspiration. A lot of people think you have to wait for inspiration to come. When true inspiration does come, you're lucky if it's once a year. And it usually is just that little feeling or that little quote that inspires you, that little gem of something. So it never comes complete anyway when it does come. But what you need to realise is that you don't need to be passive waiting for inspiration to come. What you need to be is active and opening yourself to inspiration, opening your heart to wanting to write, letting your whole being know that you want to write. So there's this expectancy within you, and you're living your life, your daily life, waiting for something to be given birth inside you. And there's 4 practical ways I've found to really invite that inspiration in, to be active as you try to invite that inspiration in. The first step is to go about your daily life as a writer. And that means opening your eyes, looking at things, noticing things. We can go through our days looking at our mobiles and looking at our feet and not looking at the world around us. But what we're trying to do in our daily life is fill that well of inspiration inside us. So the first thing to do is take note. Notice that interesting conversation. Let your mind wander off and wonder what's happening at the other end of that conversation. Particularly notice the things that really make you feel like you've been kicked in the gut, because those are the things that are going to inspire you and keep you focused and passionate over the time it takes the process of writing to unravel within you. So walk through your day noticing things, taking note. The second important step is to keep a notebook. You want a place to capture all those things you've noticed. And these can just be a random sentence, a random idea. It doesn't have to be anything concrete. So this notebook or this daily journal is so important. You can just write stream of consciousness in it, or when an idea starts to feel it's been given life within you, this is where you start to just write randomly whatever's coming up within you, and slowly but surely over time this piece of work takes shape. The third thing to do is to write every day. So if you're just at the stage where you're trying to be inspired but there's nothing really coming, then you can use that notebook or that journal to just write stream of consciousness every day, to just write those things down that inspire you. And if you've ever read Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, she gives a lovely morning pages exercise where she advises you to just sit down for 10 minutes when you wake in the morning and just write down that stream of consciousness. And in that writing, you get rid of all your blocks to the day, you get rid of all the things that are distracting you from your writing. You also find what your heart's desires are, what the things you're not telling yourself you want to do. And sometimes in all that mess you find a little line of poetry or a little clue to a character that you want to develop or a story nugget. So, stream of consciousness, just writing for 10 minutes, whatever comes up from your heart and soul, is a fantastic way to start. And when you have a story or a book or a poem on the go, then this daily writing keeps that alive within you. So at those times when you're not at your desk writing, when you're going through your daily life, your subconscious, your unconscious knows that you're going to sit down later that day and write. So it's absorbing all this stuff from your daily life. It's absorbing all the relevant stuff to this work. So you're keeping this work alive, and you're feeding into it all day, even when you're not at your writing desk. And the fourth and final thing I wanted to say was that actually you don't write at your desk. So the very important step you need to take is to invite quiet time and time for reflection into your life. Because it's this time when you're staring out the window, when you're driving, when you're staring out a bus window, when you're in the shower, when you're not really thinking, when you're letting your mind wander off, this is when the inspiration comes. Because for me, the inspiration kind of rises up from somewhere deep inside you. So you've fed the well with all that, noticing life, looking at life. You've kept a notebook of all those little things you've seen. You've kept that daily practice. And now, when you're taking that quiet time to walk in nature, to stare out the window, to let your mind have the space to give birth to something, that's when the writing is really, really born. So that's so important. And I think it's really hard for us to do that. We all have busy lives and we all think we need to be doing. But actually it's that time for nothingness, for daydreaming, for time out. That's when the real writing comes. So I hope you find those really useful this week, and I hope some of you will start writing or continue writing and just be a bit more gentle with yourselves as you do that. Remember, it is a process. Remembering you can be active in that process, inviting inspiration in, but just have fun, relax and be gentle with it.